What's up, guys? Welcome back to the final episode in 2023 of our podcast. The reason why I'm on here right now is because I lost the footage. I accidentally deleted it. So I had to let go of the control. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned this year. When things like this happen, you gotta just let it go. So we do have the audio, which is saved, thankfully, and that's what you're gonna be listening to. We're gonna be going over what we've learned, the mistakes that we learned over this last year as a family, and then what we look forward to in 2024. So we appreciate all the support this year, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave it down below. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday and enjoyed this episode. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of 3171's podcast. My name is Tim.
And I'm Jody.
And today is Christmas Eve.
Yes.
So, yes, we are ready for Christmas.
Yes.
Excited.
Yes. And this is probably going to be the last podcast of the year before 2024. So, yep.
So, today we're going to be talking about the lessons that we are leaving behind. Actually, the lessons of 2023 and the mistakes that we're leaving behind this year.
Yeah.
We definitely, this has been kind of a growing, learning year for us.
It's been an interesting year for us.
I feel like these last couple of years have been learning, but especially this year, and I think we're going to talk about that as well. So anything that you feel like that stood out to you this year?
I think for me, it's a constant learning as a mom with having two children. One kid, I felt like I got this, and I think every parent feels that, like, yeah, you got this. But with the addition of our second child, like, that's just kind of thrown us, I feel like, for a loop. A lot of learning that we've had to do over the past couple of years, but every year I do feel like, I mean, it's just new things, right? There's new struggles, there's new things that you have to learn. And I feel like I keep getting, I'll just say convicted, I think, by the Holy Spirit of, you've got to raise these kids. Like, that's got to be a priority for you. Sorry, tear up a little bit, because it's such a big priority. Yeah. So I think for me this year, one of the learning curves was things I need to do is just to let go, I guess, of my career kind of right now. I'm not like fully letting go, right? Like, I work part-time and that's good, but we've seen clients come and go, and like, I was working a lot more, and there's that, you feel that pride or you feel like that self-worth when you're bringing in more money, you've got more work, all of that. And then all of a sudden they started to go away, like sickness and other things. And so I'm working a lot less actually right now. And I feel that, like, oh no, like I should be working more. But I think I've kind of been given this like piece of, no, like, we've got an almost 3-year-old, and he needs to be potty trained, and he may be going to preschool. And our 9-year-old has been going through some things with school and just other things that she's going through. And it's just this, I am needed. Being a mom, being a parent is so much more important, than taking on more work. Like, I'm still doing my work and my calling that way. But I think the lesson that God I think he's continuing to tell me this in different ways along this journey of parenting, that, hey, you need to be there for your kids. Right. So that's one of the things going into 2024 that I'm just like, okay, this renewed focus of, I need to be there, 100% for my kids, and work, yes, I need to be there still 100% because it's a commitment, but like, don't take on more work right now. Like, right now, this is where you're at.
I think it seems like this end of the year was really hard for us because of Eli and Lydia both being sick. Yeah. And there's one time where we had to take Eli to the emergency room because he wouldn't stop puking. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how many hours it was.
It was almost a whole entire day, 24 hours.
A whole entire day of him puking. And I was at work, and you were telling me, like, hey, Eli's not getting better. We need to figure something else to do. And I was like, okay, the only choice we got is
emergency room.
The emergency room, because by the time I got home, he wasn't doing really well. He was very lethargic, very tired, and was still puking. When I got home, he puked. So that was a very hard moment, because as I was driving to the ER, I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are we getting hit with sickness? And Lydia has been sick as well. She
had that same stomach, like twice within 6 weeks, within a month. She got hit pretty hard. So yeah.
So that was probably the hardest part, like the hardest season, this towards the end. But like, there was so many lessons that I learned this whole entire year, and I think the main lesson that I learned was letting go of my control. right? So remember, we talked about the dream. If you haven't watched that podcast, I talked about how I had a vision or a dream of two bears that were trying to fight. I was trying to fight this one bear at the top of a tree. It was just a weird dream. You have to watch it, but there's another bear that was at the bottom trying to get you guys because you guys fell, and I was at the top of the tree trying to fight this bear, and nothing was working. It was just I had a sword, and it was being deflected from this bear, and I realized in that dream what God was telling me. It was like, you can't fight this beast right now.
Right.
You're not gonna win.
Yeah,
you have to let go of trying to build this thing that you're trying to build, which was this coaching business. It's not gonna work. It's you're getting taken away from your family, and you're obsessed with this too much, and you're missing out on your family. And that's what he was telling both of us. Is that we are trying to throw on so much on our plate, especially at this stage of their life, that they need us.
Right.
They need us to raise them up, and they need us to instill these positive habits in them, and to really just to have good memories of their childhood.
To be present. We need to be present with them as much as possible. Yeah.
And throughout this whole entire year, I was continuing to keep doing the thing that God was trying to tell me to stop. So the big lesson for me was just letting go, and which was the control thing. Right.
Trying to build something that was taking you away. Right. And if you haven't seen that podcast, I do recommend going and listening to that one, because we talk about that a lot. But the funny
thing is that he's been telling me that from the beginning. Right. When we started this journey, this was a couple of years when we started coaching. Yeah. And I think God allows us to be blessed with the things that we desire, just to find out it's not actually what we want or what we're meant to do. Right. So I think that another lesson is, like, there's always lessons in those failures and those setbacks. So what I've learned from that failure of just like this not working is just God directing me in the right path. Yeah. And now we're sitting in the right path, and this is more manageable. This is more what we're supposed to do. Yeah. So another lesson I feel like that I've learned this year is that I've been doing a little bit more housework. I've been stepping it up, but in my mind, it's really easy for me to get a routine. Right. So I have Mondays, I'll do something, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. That's how I was raised. I was raised with a mom that had that kind of structure, which meant she got everything done, and it works really, really well. And that's how I feel like I got through kind of single parenting and working a full-time job in the first 5 years of Lydia's life, is that I had this very structured routine. Everything went well. But I feel like now I'm, like you said, they're only young for so much amount of time. And so I have found myself doing the thing that I really don't want to do, which is starting to get aggravated or annoyed when I've cleaned something, and then all of a sudden we're living in that space again and it's getting dirty. And so I feel like I need to let go of my perfectionism still. And it's an ongoing battle. Yeah. I feel like that's just something that I've done. I've dealt with a lot of this is how it needs to be. And then everything's going to be great if it goes according to plan. Yeah. Right. But if the kid wants a snack, or if, want to play something like Play-Doh and there's stuff all over the floor now after you've swept, whatever, we're living though. And that's a moment that it's good for him. It's bonding when we're playing with Play-Doh. Don't worry about the plate. It can be swept up later. It can be cleaned up again. Those little kinds of things where I just need to let go of the routine. I think a little bit more. I've been feeling that pull in 2024, let go of the routine. And then maybe I really feel like God's going to allow more things to happen that have more purpose than just cleaning the house, and doing those chores. And it's necessary to get it done. And I think a lot of us moms have that battle too, of getting it done, feeling the it needs to be done well or perfect or whatever, or someone can come eat off of our floors. I don't know. I've seen this thing about looking at someone's baseboards, and I'm like, we're supposed to clean those things? Sorry, they don't get cleaned around our house, but there's got to be there's a fine line there. There's got to be a boundary where it gets into this thing of that routine can start to take over too much, and then it pulls me away from the kids. It pulls me away from life. It pulls me away from purpose. So I think that's something I need to focus on too, is just
I don't know, and I want to be more in tune.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to read, okay, this is okay to do more housework, but today is a day where I need to really be in tune more with our toddler. I need to be more in tune with God. Maybe I could sit and read something, you know. So I think I just need to be a little bit more flexible in those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think that's the same way with me, because it mostly was just how consistent I've been with the social media. I've been on there for so long and been doing the same thing over and over again, and I just feel like I've come to a place with just understanding that, you know, my family is priority. I have to not be consumed by technology, consumed on my phone, and you know, I catch myself in the evenings doing all these things, and I'm just like, you know, God just like, Tim, just calm down and just let it go. Just be with your family. You don't have to film everything. You don't have to post everything. You don't have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be with your family because your kids are gonna be gone. You don't have much more time with them. They're gonna be here and they'll be gone.
Right.
And I think that's the thing with just a family, is that we don't realize how fast time flies by, and how the next moment we realize that the kids are off to college and in high school or whatever, just getting ready to graduate. And I hear that from all the parents that are already been through that stage, that phase. I am realizing this because Eli's almost 3 years old. Yeah. And he's just talking really well, and just talking so much. So much. And I just feel like that newborn stage was just gone.
Oh, it was a flash in the pan. Oh yeah, it was gone.
And Lydia is now
9.5.
9.5, and she's very smart and just has her own personality. Wants to be independent already. Doesn't want to be around us very much. So I'm realizing why God's telling us this. Why He's telling us to let go of everything else that we're trying to add on our plate, and just focus on the present. You're gonna have enough time after they leave the house to do everything that you're wanting to do. I'm gonna provide that for you, but you're not. You don't have this time with them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So in 2024, I know that I have to slow down on social media. I know that I have to give up certain things with social media to really, first of all, focus on what I'm supposed to be doing, rather than just trying to kill this bear, kill this beast, which is unstoppable. So there's things that we have to let go in both of our lives in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the main theme here we're talking about is that we get so busy with what we think we should be doing that
especially
a lot of times
during this time.
That I think we're missing them. We miss the mark sometimes, or we start to veer off from what we should be doing. So I think it's really important you do a lot of introspection. You do a lot of reflection, and probably need to do a little bit more of that. But it's very important for us to be able to sit alone and sit quietly and to reflect and to pray and to be able to come back to what our purpose is and what our priorities really should be. And God has those set up for us. We just need to listen.
In each season.
Oh, yeah. You have to do, I mean, I think you have to do it multiple times a year, right? Because you can so easily veer off where you should be going that all of a sudden you're like, oh no. Like, I feel that a lot of times with Lydia, again, 9.5. Like, I don't know where that time has gone, but I don't want to veer so far away from my child that it's something big happens in her life and it's hard to come back, right? Like, there has to be this prioritizing or making sure that the priorities are there, and that it is that we are spending our time with God, that we are spending time together, that we are there with our children. And then from there on, our purpose, what He has for us will fall into place. So I think we do get the collective we can get so caught up in what we think we should be doing in our culture, in our society, and we lose sight of what's right in front of us in our home. So taking that time to reflect, I just recommend that you do that as often as possible to make sure you're on the right path.
And the thing is that I've realized that God, like I said this before, God has been telling me this for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I write in the morning sometimes now, and what I've written down is that we are our own worst enemy. That we try so hard to figure everything out in our lives, to figure out our plans, to figure out what we're supposed to do. That God has a plan already laid out for you. If you're a believer, he has a plan laid out for you, and I already seen them doing that. It may not look the way that you want it to look, but he has it already laid out in a better way.
Right.
So we're fighting ourselves when we're trying to figure everything out, do everything on our own strength, and we end up just going to a dead end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the cool thing is that God is right there to help us redirect our path, and he allows us to brush the shoulders off and start walking in the right direction. Like, you know, he did for me this year.
Yeah, I think one of the big signs too of that I've seen in the past is like burnout. Yeah. Like you feel this weariness or this burnout kind of feeling, or an irritableness, or there's something, and I think that's telling you that there's something not right with, like, they're not on the right path. Something's just off. Like you're not lined up to where you need to be. I know I felt that way. Maybe it was like 2 years ago, I think, where I was trying to post on Instagram. I was trying to do all the social media things, and I just felt in my spirit, it was on New Year's Eve, and God was just telling me, like, you need to stop. Like, you need to focus on your kids, and you need to stop posting on social media. And I was like, I can do that. I don't like to post that much anyways. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this much. I don't need, because I felt it was pulling me away from the kids. Right. Like, I'm trying to make a reel, or I'm trying to think of something, and Eli doesn't want me on my phone, or, you know, I need to be doing more with the kids. And when I stopped doing that, then it was client after client after client after client that came into me. I stopped posting, which I thought that's what I was supposed to do to get clients. And then all of a sudden, all these clients kept coming in. And so I think, that irritableness that I was feeling was God prompting me to be like, this isn't what I have for you.
The thing is, like, you're hearing from other people, like, their beliefs and their perspective. Like, you need to just be hustling, you need to be grinding, you need to be, not when you have a family.
Right.
You have to have a structured routine so that you can get stuff done with the family, which I do. And you will have to sacrifice sleep or time, but it doesn't mean you're not going to be there for your family. So if you have a family and you're busy, you have to get up early and do what you have to do.
I think we also have to recognize too that not everybody's path is the same. Right. So like, while you're on an entrepreneurial journey, I'm on an entrepreneurial journey. Like, that's a very hard word to say, by the way. Our paths, while we're married, we're going to have some things together, but we're going to have some things that look different. And when you're listening to entrepreneurs online, or you're listening to other moms, or you're listening to whatever, everyone has a different path. Right. And so it could be presented as, this is the best and this is the greatest. Right. It could be for them, but maybe you don't have that same situation that they have. Like, I ask you a lot of times, the people that you watch, I'm like, are they married? Do they have kids? And usually it's like, no, or maybe they just had a baby, or their kids are teenagers, or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, there's the priorities again. Like, if they've been able to go all in and prioritize their business, that's great, but they didn't have little ones to raise on the side, and they need to be, you need to be a proactive parent in that. So,
and that's why you have to be careful who you listen to, because, I was consumed by this one big guy that I listen to, and he's very, very good. Yeah. What he says is very consistent, and just someone that I really, really look up to. But at the same time, he doesn't have kids or family.
Right.
And he also doesn't really have the same beliefs. He has similar beliefs, but they're a little bit different. So you have to be very careful who you're listening to, because those beliefs will rub off on you. Yeah. But this is why you have to reflect and spend that time with God, and really allow God to speak to you, because, like you said, God has a different path. I thought my path was like, I'm going to be an online coach and help all these guys out and just build wealth for my family. That's not what God has for me. God has a different path, and I've realized my path now through this failure that God used as an opportunity for me to know what my path is. But it also took a lot of reflection and introspect to really understand where I was supposed to be going. And that's just came from me spending that alone time in the morning and really listening to God, rather than listening to these other entrepreneurs that I've been listening to, because God's the one that has your journey lined up. Right. So
he's the one that has your best interest and your family's best interest at heart.
So God's the one that will speak to you and reveal to you what your path is. And for the longest time, I was fighting this thing, and God was actually allowing me to do what I wanted to do. I've written this down, what I wanted to do for for my purpose was like just to share my story, help men become better. And you know, I get to do that where I'm at.
Yeah.
I do that every day. I share my story at work all the time. I make content that's inspirational and helps people that watch it, you know, like I'm actually doing what I'm doing. You're training clients here, you know, and you're doing what you enjoy at the gym. And we have, you know, we're doing exactly what we want to do, just in a small scale.
Different, looks different.
So when you step back and realize that if you just step back and see that sometimes God's showing you that you're in it right now. Like we're in it right now. Like I said, but we just get so focused on thinking it has to be a certain way. And that's how it was with my path, is that I was not allowing, or I wasn't listening to God. I was bullheaded and just pushing past what I thought, you know, it was.
Yeah,
so
that tunnel vision on this is what I want, this is what I'm going for. But
But like I said, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And God's gonna open doors later down the road. I don't know when, but he will open doors, and I'll be ready because I've been doing what he's preparing me to do. Like I said, the biggest lesson is you got to just step back and allow God to clean those lens off you and just allow you to see what's right in front of you.
That's pretty big. That's a pretty big lesson I think we've learned. I mean, and like I said, it's a continual. I feel like it is a continual learning process.
We are constantly battling ourselves. And I can see God be like, you know, so
don't get too frustrated with us. We're working on it.
So this year, even though, you know, it was a hard year with the coaching business and investing in a mentorship that didn't work out, and we knew it. We knew it that it wasn't the time because it was just more on our plate. Remember? And we knew that. We knew it. We knew it in our consciousness. And we didn't listen to it. God was warning us through the missed phone calls, or through just little signs that he was just sharing, like, don't do it. But guess what we did? Guess what I did? We went through it again because I'm bullheaded, and I will keep going till I'm like completely stopped. So that was a hard hit, and then just holding on to this dream of mine, and not allowing God to be like, hey, I have this other thing for you. I'm providing you for your family over here. Just stick it out. You don't know what I'm doing over here. You're doing your purpose here. I know it's not what you want right now, but just look what you're doing. And I wish I wouldn't have wasted time trying to do things my own strength, and just having faith and trust in God and allowing him to just take the lead. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when you look back and just realize that all this time that you wasted could have been used more wisely. And like I said, you battle your own selves. If you could just let God lead the way instead of you thinking you can do it, it's going to be so much easier.
Wasting energy is, we only have so much energy, right? We only create so much energy. So when you look at it, it's like a waste of good energy to be doing something else. And I think I feel that too, like this anxiousness to do more. There's always this anxiousness to kind of do more. What more can I be doing? And that's where, I sit back and go, okay, I'm doing this, which is part of my calling that God has me doing, and I'm raising kids, which is part of the calling that God has me for, and I'm trying to be a good wife too, which is part of the calling. So I think we need to, give ourselves grace sometimes, and that God He's provided plenty of work for us to do. And then the people we see every single day, like you do at work, like that's kingdom work too, right there. Like there's always kingdom work in front of us for us to do.
And God says in the scriptures, he says, seek him first and everything else will be added. Everything else will be added. If you just put God first, your finances, everything that you need will be provided, and he will add more. So I just feel like if we are just faithful and obedient to God, that path is going to be so much more easier than trying to figure out everything else on your own. So those are the big lessons that I learned. And in 2024, like you said, we both said we have to let some things go. We have to let some things go. We have the goal, we have the vision of what we needed to be working on, and we need to let go of the things that aren't working. And that's what you have to do. You have to reflect and analyze what God's telling you.
So definitely continue to reflect, continue to really just pray and seek God in everything. And then he's gonna He's going to tell you what to let go of, and he's going to make that abundantly clear.
Yes.
So
fitness related, real quick before I end this.
Yeah.
Fitness related, any goals that you have for yourself this year?
So this year, my birthday is on January 1st. So I start, it is just a year, right? For me. And this is going to be my last year in my 30s. So I don't know. There's just something about when 40 is just kind of looming. I'm not running from it. I'm actually kind of excited. I've been telling people I'm almost 40 for a while now, which is weird. But I think for me, I just want to be in top peak fitness, right? When I hit 40, I want people to look at me and think that I'm maybe 35. I won't get too ambitious. 30 would be great. But you know what I'm saying? I want people to be like, oh, what? You're 40? Yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm half. Ow. We just did uppers. Anyways. But yeah, I think I just want to, I don't know. I don't like to be too depriving. I mean, getting rid of sugar and really getting good, making sure my sugar levels are good and everything like that is important to me, just because that runs in my family and all that stuff. But I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here going, well, I've thought about it, but I'm not going to sit here going, I'm going to have a 6-pack. Probably not going to happen for my physique. But yeah, I just want to be a 40-year-old that walks into a room and people go, oh, she's 40, girl got it, So girl got it. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, I just want to make sure I maintain. Maybe put on a little bit more muscle. Maybe a little bit more lower body muscle. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more upper body muscle. I don't know. I don't have specific goals, y'all. I'm just going to listen to God and let him tell me where to go with that. Right. You're going to tell me get rid of the sugar for sure. And you, sir, you have, you're going to do a 6-week cut. Is that correct?
I'm a 6 to 8 week cut. Okay. It's just something I do every year because, after the holidays, you get a little complacent, a little comfortable. So I have to just dial myself back in. A little fluffy, right? So just going to get back to a 6 to 8 week cut. Going to document everything that I do so that if you're watching, I'll probably do this more on my social media stuff. So make sure to follow me up there. So plug in. Anyways, show people how I do it. Okay. And it's not that hard. I mean, it is hard, but it's not hard. You just gotta have a plan. You've done it before, yes. You have a plan. Yeah. So that's it. That's for my goal. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching again. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give a like. Comment down below with any questions that you have. Hope you guys have enjoyed the holidays. And remember, just continue to really reflect on yourself and your life. Make sure you're feeding yourself too as well with exercising, with reading, prayer, whatever you like to do. Spend that quality time, especially if you're raising a family, because it's definitely, you need to be prepared for that to just take on chaos that we deal with every single day as parents. And just show grace to yourself as well. If you've struggled this last year, you get a new day every day, and you get a new start every day. So just take the opportunity to start fresh. So until next time, guys, we will talk to you in the next one. Peace. Bye.